Welcome back, everyone. And once again, we have a wonderful, special lady to introduce you to. I'm here with Gabriela Armenta from Danza, Azteca in Coachella.
Yes.
And this is an Indigenous dance group and a
Yes.
nonprofit.
Correct.
Okay, explain to us what that looks like.
Yes.
Sounds amazing, but tell us more.
Well, first, thank you for having me. Thank you for inviting me.
Our pleasure. Absolutely.
Danza Azteca is actually an Indigenous-based nonprofit organization. And what that means is that we started off as a traditional ceremonial group. That's what it's known. What we do is that we teach and preserve our culture through ceremonial dancing, drumming, music, traditional medicine. And then we started to open it up to the community, just for anyone that wanted to connect with their roots.
Right.
And then we somehow developed it into a nonprofit organization.
Yeah.
And we did that really just because we wanted to be able to keep it accessible for folks. Our regalias, instruments,
Right.
everything is so expensive
Right.
that we had a lot of youth interest. And we thought, how can we keep it accessible for them? And so somehow we ended up just, but becoming a nonprofit organization as a way to offer that for free to the community.
Okay, that's fantastic. And so you've been here for about a year.
Yes, here in this building for about a year, doing the work 16 years.
Oh, wow.
But as a nonprofit organization since 2021.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic.
Yes.
And so just kind of dive deeper in a little bit to what it actually looks like. So say you have some youth come in from the streets, they want to learn more about their roots. Like, what does that look like? How does that start?
Yeah, so we just like I said, we let them know about our services, and our services are in the shape of, like I said, workshops, and we tell them, like, we have these dance practices that you can join. You learn the structure of what it means to be in this Indigenous community setting,
Right.
and the structure of belonging to a circle is what we called it, or a community, and it really, really dives into not just learning a choreography, but learning the meaning and the symbolism behind every dance, every song, what it meant to our ancestors, and how we connect with Mother Earth, with the universe, with the elements, and it helps as a way to know, like, okay, these are my roots, this is where it comes from, and it gives them a sense of belonging and really a sense of direction as well. Yeah.
Okay. And do you have all ages coming in here?
We have all ages. I mean, our youngest have been 4 or 5 years old, even 3 years old, all the way to like 75 years old.
Wow.
Yeah. So we try to make it as accessible as we can for the community, where if someone is curious about playing the drums, the Indigenous drums, or the hand rattles, or any type of instrument, from that to the dancing, we make it as accessible for them. And what I mean by that is that, of course, it's free. And then we try to make it like step by step.
Sure.
There is really, it's not about the choreography. It's about the energy that you put into it.
Right.
So you can do it at any level, I should say.
Oh, very, very cool. Very cool. And do you notice like a change in the person from the day they walk in versus say a year later?
Yeah.
What kind of changes do you notice?
Oh, of course. I really see that, especially, and I mean in anyone really, when they're reconnecting with their roots, or in our case, our roots, and it's also seen as a form of spirituality.
Right.
I know that it does give people a sense of purpose.
Exactly.
Sense of purpose and growth. Because maybe they came in a little shy, not really knowing what to expect.
Right.
Or maybe they have never been in a setting where they've had to put themselves out there in a dance setting or, presentation setting, that they really start to develop into just new people in the sense of like, okay, I didn't know I could do this, and now that I can, I have the courage to try out so many other things.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like the sort of the step one for them.
Yes.
Very good. And so you mentioned your roots a lot. Is this the dancing and everything? Is this something that's been in your life for forever?
Yes. So this is a tradition that was handed down to me by my grandparents.
Okay.
My grandparents are Mexica Guamara from southern Mexico, and that's I would say specifically in Guanajuato, Mexico, where they belong to a community that used to practice, ceremonial dancing and the traditions. They had medicine women there that will practice, and they will hand down that tradition to the women. And this was like, oh my gosh, back in like 1920s,
Wow.
40s, when my family grandparents immigrated to border states.
Right.
They kind of stopped practicing it, but I myself decided to pick it up and go ahead and like ask my uncles and any elders in my family, hey, can I continue this?
Yeah.
Can I? Because you kind of have to ask for permission.
Sure.
And so they said yes. I found myself some great elders here that also practice, not here in the Coachella Valley, but in California.
Okay.
And I've been just practicing it and sharing it ever since, in a more of a presentations status. But in our family, it's a way of life because we make it very just apparent. Like just whenever you walk into our house, you could smell the sage, you could smell the different herbs, you could smell the different resins and stuff like that my mother will be burning for like cleaning the energy around, or just her medicinal ways that she practices on a daily basis. So very much a part of our lives.
Okay, and you said you had to sort of ask permission to carry this on. How old were you when you had that recognition that you wanted to do that? Yeah. And was there something that sort of sparked or happened that caused you to want to reach out and ask that question?
Yeah. I've always felt like I couldn't really connect to like other like extracurricular activities as a teenager. I tried out sports, I tried out like music and stuff like that, and I've always loved music. But I've always felt like there was a sense of like something's missing. And when I started to dig into my past and my grandparents, where do they come from and things like that, it's when it really sparked that curiosity. And I even had dreams, as weird as that may sound. I had dreams about it. And one day I just asked my mom, I said, hey, Mom, I really want to pick up Aztec dancing. That's what it's commonly known as. And she's like, well, you should, because your grandparents used to dance. And what?
Oh, so you didn't know?
I didn't know. I didn't know.
Okay.
No, I didn't.
Right.
I mean, I knew where I came from, but not specifically that they were just so involved in the community that way in Mexico. Okay. And so I started asking questions, and that's kind of how it happened. And I must have been maybe like 16 years old.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. And so then you really took this as a direction, as a purpose for you.
Yes.
And because it really keeps that alive.
Yes.
Telling the story through your dance and the music and all of those things, it keeps that culture alive.
Yes.
That's a very important piece.
Yes, it is. And that's really one of the reasons why we do it.
Right.
We always, I think one of the key words that we have as a foundation for our organization is the preservation of our culture. And this is the best way that we can do it.
100%.
Yeah, and especially when you start with youth, with children.
Yeah.
I mean, really in our culture and traditions, that's the foundation for everything. You start them when they're young.
Right.
And we have even like this like Nahuatl proverb that we always say, that if you teach them when they're young where they come from, they know where they are headed. And so it's really, really, like I said, the foundation of our work.
Right.
Yes.
And so obviously when you get your 3 and your 5-year-olds, for them it's very fun. It's easy to get them involved. How do you reach the 16-year-old who walks in here on their phone, or even the 21-year-old on the phone? And how do you bring them over to understand the importance of what you're doing? What does that look like?
That's a really good question. And it's not easy. It's not easy because, they just have so many other interests outside of
distractions.
Yeah, of course, a lot of distractions. But you know what? We've been fortunate that we've had youth that come in and they're just simply curious.
Sure.
Even if it's a tiny amount of curiosity. Okay, my parents said I should come and check this out because I'm from this region of Mexico, and it kind of fits along what I should be learning from my people. And we just share what we do. We talk to them, and we're having a conversation with them. We don't sugarcoat things. We tell them like, yes, we have a past. There's good, there's bad, and everything. This is how it can help you. And we even tell them like, this can actually look good on your applications for school and things like that. So we try to really make it as welcoming as possible, and not try to like I said, sugarcoat it in any way. And if they like it, they might stick around for a few lessons. And if they don't, then they don't.
But you still have an impact. You still.
We believe that we do. We believe that we do, because I have even run into some of those youth. Later on, after they've graduated from college, and they tell me, when I moved to Irvine, wherever it was that I went, I found an Aztec dance group, and I joined for a few times because I wanted to reconnect, or just to kind of get that sense of home. And we're just blown away when we get little stories like that. Or even like, I went to go check out this presentation. Sometimes I light up my sage at home just to, reconnect with my ancestors. And little things like that we're just always very blessed to
That's
get.
how you know you
to
had
hear.
an impact.
Yeah, exactly.
And you said a lot. You said the word community a lot, and everything. And I think there's a generation, or at least a span of 10 years of young people who don't know what it's like to connect, not just with people of their own culture, but just connect at all. And so, it is what it is. We realize that that's a thing right now. And I could imagine that when they come in here and they're not, it's like a different type of connection. It's different than sitting down across the table from somebody. It's much more spiritual, would you say? It's much more internal, even though it's an outward expression of what their cultural ancestry is.
Yes, it is. And I think that helps too. Like in any setting, or like if you're like in a meeting or having a conversation with someone, you appreciate that if they can put their phone away. So even like, if we just make that a point of, okay, for 30 minutes, we're going to ask you to just put your phone on the side, put it somewhere where you can't reach for it. And we're going to teach you this dance. We're going to teach you how to play these instruments, but it's not just about teaching them the choreography, the notes, or things like that. It's when you dive deeper into the meaning behind this one step, or this one beat, and what it meant to our people, and how they used it to uplift themselves, to uplift their community. I think that's what really touches anyone. And they start to connect, they start to relate. They start to like want to learn more about that spirituality, or that history.
It connects you with people who did it 10, 20, 100 years ago, and what it must have felt like for them to make that movement or play that instrument. You really could, I would imagine, you could just feel that connection, and that's a much deeper connection than they're probably used to. That even maybe I could even be used to.
It definitely is. And I honestly think that that's what keeps people coming back for that, because like I said, for some it's a very unique experience. Just to say like, hey, you know what, like this instrument is not just an instrument that, yes, it produces sound, and no, but there is a much deeper meaning behind this sound, from the way that it's made, from if you see our drums, for example, they're made out of wood. We explain the top part of it's an animal. It used to be an animal. It's animal skin. And then we explain, where did this animal come from? And it wasn't just something that we decided one day we're going to kill an animal and do it. No, we asked our Mother Earth for permission to use all of these instruments and these elements that are provided to us. And so when we go into that, they're kind of like, whoa, I didn't know that. And so I really think that that's what catches their interest, I would say.
Very, very, very cool. I noticed I was looking earlier, and you have a lot of community-based flyers here. Do you feel like you're sort of a place for people to come for those resources as well?
We're known as an Indigenous Cultural Center, an Indigenous Cultural and Resource Center.
Okay.
So we like to plug in people and connect them with resources that are available here, and mostly I would say in the entire Coachella Valley. But because we are in the Eastern Coachella Valley, we tend to be driven to the ones that are closest to us, because sometimes they don't really get highlighted enough.
Sure.
And so honestly, we're all about uplifting others. And if we can uplift other individuals or organizations, then we do that.
Right.
And so the people that you see in our flyers, the organizations, I should say, that you see in our flyers, it's probably because we've worked with them and because we know their work and we know what they provide and they bring for the community. So, of course, we're going to share that with people that walk into our doors.
It's interesting because I think that people are really unaware of the resources that are available to them, not just here in this community, but all across the valley. There are so many resources for all different kinds of groups of people searching for things. So it's great to be like a hub for that.
Yeah, no, of course. Yeah. And we're very big on mental health. So we're big advocates on mental health. So anything related to mental health, we want to know about it, we want to learn about it, and we want to share it with the community. I mean, I think it's just something that comes from like our traditions, that we are very, we're very community oriented. And so we've been taught not to keep anything and just to make sure that whatever we learn, we pass it on.
Right.
We pass it on. And so it's very important for us to just, like I said, continue to just provide whatever resources that are out there, really.
Right. So you said you've been a nonprofit since 2021.
Yes.
You've been here for about a year.
Yes.
And you're outgrowing this space.
Yes.
So what's next?
Ideally, it would be great if we could find a bigger space, because it's also a bookstore.
Yeah, I noticed. Some great things back here.
Yes, it's also a bookstore, and so our bookstore has been wanting to grow.
Yeah.
We want to grow that, and then also just like our dance practices. This is a pretty small space.
Right, I was imagining a group of people in here.
And
it can get tight.
It can get pretty tight. And we need the dance space, the performance space. We've had book readings here, workshops, and we know we can hold 25 people here comfortably.
Yeah.
Yes, but it just keeps growing and growing, which is a good problem to have.
Yeah.
And so it does feel like we need to find a bigger space.
Yeah, if anybody knows of a bigger space,
yes,
contact us.
Yes.
Right? Yeah, because I can imagine, because I'm picturing, the dancing and the music, and you would want to be able just to sort of include as many people as possible.
Yes,
and size limits that.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yeah. And we've actually held resource fairs here.
Oh, wow.
So we utilize the indoors and the parking lot.
Sure.
Our neighbors have been pretty nice about it, and we include them in everything that we do. Our landlord is also pretty great about it because it's privately owned. There's like at least a little bit less hassle on that part. But we have the parking lot, the back parking lot. It's under construction, but we're actually at a really great spot.
Yeah, this is a fantastic location.
This is a very good spot. Yep. And so we have businesses and we have residential areas. So it's just a really good spot to do a lot of outreach. And so it hasn't stopped us yet. I mean, when we didn't have a space before, it didn't stop us before.
Right.
But it was nice not to be having to go jumping from one venue to another, trying to like accommodate our people.
And I think it's very true. When you just keep moving forward and just keep doing the next thing, the opportunity presents itself. So something will come along that will allow you to grow.
Yeah.
Because you're doing this work with such good intention.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah. And that's what we want people to see. I mean, it's I guess you could say a staff of two really, and a lot of volunteer time. But we have a great board, and
Good.
we're actually growing our board as
That's
well.
great.
So we're looking for board members.
That's
Anyone interested?
fantastic.
And so, but somehow I feel like we're just trying to like limit ourselves in how much we can grow because of the lack of space. You know.
So that's an issue to overcome.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Okay. Well, that's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's going to come along. Yeah. So being in this world, and this has been your mission for over 16 years, I'm sure along the way there were times where it was hard and you thought, like, why am I, this is too hard. What am I doing? Why, you know, was there anybody or something that anybody said to you along the way that really kept you pushing forward?
Yes. So as an doing the work itself, like I said, it's part of my daily life. So that wasn't difficult. But when I started to think about, maybe we could become a nonprofit organization, that was a whole new field for me. I had no experience with it. I had worked with other nonprofit organizations, but as like a program coordinator, not really knowing how it had to administrate a nonprofit organization.
Right.
So I actually happened to run into some really good mentors. And I don't know if it's okay if I can give them a
100%,
shout out.
100%.
I want to give a shout out to Mihai Petru and Stephen Bennett from Caravanserai. That organization.
What's the organization?
It's Caravanserai Project, I believe.
Okay.
And so they are also a nonprofit organization, and they actually extended an invitation for myself and my co-founder to attend a social entrepreneurship certificate program at UC Riverside.
Okay.
And that's how they, you know, we caught the bug.
Right.
And they were really great mentors, and they just helped us grow as entrepreneurs.
Right. And it goes back to the resources.
Yes.
People in the valley are not, they might have this passion, they might have this purpose, they might have this thing that they know is special, they just don't know how to get it on its feet. And having those different kinds of resources is so helpful because people have done this over and over again. They know how to do it. They can explain it to you with no problem, you know? That's wonderful. Okay, very good. Very good.
So that's how we got our start. They were very kind to us and just letting us grow as individuals. And for us, it was very new. Also, keep in mind that because this is something that's very sacred to us, it's very traditional, it's not something that you can necessarily appraise. Right. So it was even like dealing with that type of questions. Yeah, even dealing with that type of questions.
Because your value on it is not something that you can put it into like monetary terms.
Yeah, you can't put numbers into it.
Right.
Yeah,
interesting.
Yeah, so that was very interesting for us. And it was such a huge challenge to say, I'm going to have a fee for this, or I'm going to be invited to do even like a speaking engagement or do a presentation. Well, we don't have fees for that. How do we go about that? But how do we not lose the sacredness of it? Right. But also keep in mind that like now that we are a nonprofit organization does not exclude the sacredness, but rather because we are providing a service, how do we sustain a roof over our heads? And how do we appraise and value our work, our time?
That's interesting because we were talking to somebody else, another lady, and she had the same sort of struggle because she felt very powerful about what she was doing, but it had to be a business too. Yes. And she put it like this, like having a business with integrity. Because it is, you have to put a roof over your head. And as your nonprofit grows, you have to be able to fund that. Yes. And always keep the sacredness of what you're doing front and center. Yes. You know? But there is a way to do it. Yes. And it's like with intention.
Yes.
You know?
It is. Yeah, very much so. I mean, we all have, I think anyone that's an entrepreneur has the passion. That's a given. It's there no matter what. Right. But you you have to learn. You have to
Yeah.
learn this whole other side of like the business
Yep.
spectrum that you're probably not prepared for.
Right. And if you don't run it like a business in some
Yes.
form or fashion, it won't last.
Exactly.
So that definitely is something you have to figure out.
Yes.
Very cool.
Yes.
Very cool. So if people wanted to come and learn more about here and what you offer, what would be the best way to reach out to you?
Yeah, they can just follow us on social media or go to our website. Our website is Círculo Citlaltonac. I know it's a little
We'll have
mouthful,
all the
but
links to all that so
okay.
people can.
Great. Yeah, or they can simply just call our number. It's
Yeah.
760-625-2694. And we're happy to be of any assistance.
Okay.
Like I said, it's not just about preserving our culture, but also just about really sharing with the community the many resources that we are now aware of. And even like I said, the bookstore does not sustain the building. It's
Right.
really for us to bring in programming for our youth. This actually is a partnership with the bookstore out in Lincoln Heights.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And the owners of the bookstore is called the Libros Lincoln Heights. They do amazing work out there, and what they do is that they promote a lot of Latino authors, especially in the nearby high schools. So they encourage the youth. Do you want to be a published author? Yes, you can.
That's
you can
awesome.
do it. So we are replicating their program.
Yeah.
Their programming here. That's why we're going to be having a lot of workshops,
That's
writing
fantastic.
workshops, readings. And a percentage of the book sales goes to our newly founded scholarship that we just established last year.
Wonderful. What's the name of the scholarship?
The scholarship is the Quetzali Garcia Scholarship, and it is named after one of our first members of our group. She started with us when she was like 5 years old, and this week she started college. And so we established that scholarship in her name, and of course she was the first recipient. And we actually just handed her check yesterday.
Wonderful.
After a year raising funds for that scholarship, we were able to hand her check.
That's awesome.
So it's just one more way to give back to the community.
Yeah.
So
That's awesome.
be on the lookout for that scholarship as
yes.
well.
And come. There's so many amazing books in this building. I would definitely come down and give the address really quick.
Yeah, it's 1030 6th Street, and it's suite number 10, and we are in downtown Coachella. Just come on down to 6th Street and Cesar Chavez, and you'll find us here.
Yeah. Is there anything else you'd like to say before we go?
Oh my gosh, just thank you for the opportunity to
you.
share a little bit about us.
Absolutely.
And I saw a little bit of what you do, and I love that you're highlighting amazing individuals.
So many amazing
and
women
so I love this, and just thank you. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Of
I
course.
appreciate it.
Yeah, of course.
Wonderful, Gabriela.
Of course, thank you.
Until next time. That was great.